listening to Me Gente Podcast, hosted by yours truly.
Hey.
Yes. ¿Qué rollo, mi gente? Once again, we are here with you, and we thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the support. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I want to introduce everybody once again. We have Maya. Welcome, Maya.
What's up?
Of course, we got Danny and Soti.
Yo.
Yes. So, anyways, before we start and we get into it, we just want to take the time and say thank you, muchas gracias, for tuning in into Mi Gente podcast. We had a really good feedback. It was the first episode, so we had to. It was a little rough, but hey, we got through it. And so yeah, thank you so much for tuning in and for leaving the comments and the Huevo situation. Anybody want to chime in on the Huevo situation? What was the stats on that?
Actually, we for those of you that do not follow the Instagram page, we posted a question. Do you believe in the barrida de huevo? And 67% said yes, they do. So
they did not agree with me.
Yeah, they do not agree with you guys.
Yeah.
So for those who don't follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, we're on Spotify. You guys can search by Mi Gente. We'll pop up there. Like our pages, like our videos, subscribe if you haven't. And then if you guys hit that little bell notification, tells you when we upload next on YouTube. So yeah, just follow us everywhere you can.
That's right. Yeah. And once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in and leaving comments. And we got really good feedback. And we hope that we can continue to interact. We have some topics here that we want to talk about. That the request that we sent out is, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? And so we have some topics here. So
yeah, well, before we get into the topics, let's what kind of feedback did you guys get from other people out there as far as that first episode? I know we talked about the Huevo, right? There was some of that, but there was some other stuff that we got info on as well.
So I have my coworker, my friend, she listened, and she is Mexican. Her husband is Caucasian. And she sent me, we normally send like voice messages to each other. So she sent me a voice message, and it was the most hilarious thing ever. She said, your podcast made me rethink my level of Mexicanism. She goes, I don't even know what level of Mexican am I? She's all like, because she's like, I consider myself full-blown Mexican, but my mom didn't do the whole huevo thing. And she's all like, I don't know what level of the Mexican scale I fall in because of your podcast. It made me rethink this. And I thought that was hilarious. We were just talking about it again today. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But
my coworkers and a couple of friends told me they can totally relate to some of the things on the podcast, but the huevo thing was new to them. So it was the same conversation. I thought I was Mexican, but you're more Mexican than I am.
Right? Hey, and I need to pause really quick so I can give an announcement. I really did not know what the whole Oaxaca thing was in the last episode. Okay, guys. I need to defend myself because that's the whole point that I'm here, trying to give the outside perspective on everything. I did not know. Okay. And I from the bottom of my heart, I did not know what I had to educate myself after the fact. So I wanted to throw that out there, please.
Well, don't even worry about it. I said, we don't have those. And I've completely forgot about Cesar's wife.
I know. Yes, Cesar's wife is from Oaxaca.
So what did she have to say when that comment was made?
Well, when we saw the episode, right, she was like, that was her reaction. She was like, and I'm like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. It's like, but you didn't even say that your wife is from Oaxaca. And I'm like, yeah, because the situation really didn't merit because we had a moment of saltiness there. And didn't want to ruin it. And so, y para remachar, Maya was like, yeah, well, we don't have those people. I was like, yes, this is classic content. No, but yes, to clear it up, yes, my beautiful wife is from Oaxaca. And
Claudia.
no, it's all good. And of course, come and try to rub it in that I didn't stick up for her and que no sé qué. But you know what? It's like, she's so confident and secure in herself that it was just kind of like and but other than that, no, she is from Oaxaca, and I'll tell you something. People from Oaxaca are one of the most laid back people, hardworking people, just like every other estado de Mexico, but man, they know how to throw down for sure, just like us.
Yeah, no, I've met some people from Oaxaca, and they're one of the things that I very admire from that is they're very humble, no matter where they're from, where they've come from, where they are now. They're always looking to give back and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a little bit of education there. That's kind of one of those things that we just throw around just to kind of make fun of them, make fun of us, within ourselves, our Mexican self, within our culture. I mean, we make fun of everyone. We make fun of Chilangos. We make fun of people from Nuevo León. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people. Yeah, there's a whole bunch. I mean, shoot, los de San Luis Potosí somos nopaleros, right? I mean,
yeah, tuneros. They call it tuneros. So but yeah, you're one of your best friends is from.
Yes, I was just going to say one of my best friends happens to be related to Cesar's wife.
Crazy.
And she's from Oaxaca. And she is really down to party. She's a role model. She's a counselor. She's awesome.
Yeah, we've known her for a long time, and she's always been real cool. Yeah.
Shout out, Jenny.
Yeah. Exactly. So shout out to people from Oaxaca. We love you guys, man. The food that you guys make.
Dude, that mole. Woo.
So let me just ask Cesar, because that happened. ¿Se no Pancho?
There is some manual labor involved that we had to take care of.
Cesar, is that a mirror that you have on the top?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
No, it's where I rest my my game.
I thought he was trying to cover his hair.
It looks like a mirror on top of your bed.
Wow, I was like, you guys get freaky.
Except for that night that he forgot. Claudia was. I was like, except for that night that he forgot Claudia was from Oaxaca.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no mirror there, right?
Yeah, I don't think Claudia would want a mirror in our ceiling. I think that would ruin the whole vibe there.
You take a look up and catch a glimpse of yourself. It's over. Yeah.
Yeah, it's over. It's like she's gonna the blinds of her eyes are gonna fall and she's gonna see who I really am. We definitely don't want to see that.
So,
no, but
So I was gonna say, anyways, the whole level of Mexicanness that brought up a whole other thing, because we said it in the podcast is there's different levels of us here, even within our family, but man, we're so used to being within our family that all this stuff is normal to us. And then some people are like, wait, what? Like, I've never done that, or what, we actually do this differently. And there could be other people out there who do things that we have no idea.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd love for people to share and let us know what kind of things you guys do. Yeah.
So as part of whenever on social media, we posted for people to just give us other topics. And one of the topics that came up was Abuelita's cooking.
Right.
Oh.
So like grandma's cooking. And I thought that was interesting because I don't think I've shared, but my grandma actually passed away 2 months ago. And I was telling Danny the other day, I was like, which I spoke to my mom, and my mom was the one that was like, ay, estoy cocinando. And I was like, Ma, ¿qué estás cocinando? And she's like, arroz con pollo and I don't know what. And she's like, pero estoy haciendo un poquito más por si acaso alguien viene. And I was like, how funny, because my grandma used to cook a lot. Like if it was just for her and my mom, she would cook for like another 10 people. Por si acaso alguien viene, because uno nunca sabe cuando alguien vaya a venir por la puerta, right? So she would always make so much food, and then she's like, pero eso se guarda en el refri, eso se guarda, por si acaso, right? So it brought back like all these memories from her cooking so much, and it's like nobody ever came, and she had all this food in the damn fridge, you know, and the mantequilla containers.
Oh yeah.
Is right. That's just not a Puerto Rican thing. Apparently, that's just a Hispanic thing.
I was gonna say it's interesting. We come from two different Hispanic cultures. Nonetheless, they're Hispanic, but our grandma was very similar, and I'm sure there's other grandmas out there. And I don't think it's, to be honest with you, I don't think it's just a Hispanic thing. I mean, I think there's a lot of other people, you know, in Black cultures and other Filipino, Asian cultures, where the person who is a grandparent, and typically it's a woman, she's always willing to cook for everyone, and everyone kind of welcomes it because it's that old school cooking, you know. It's kind of what your parents were brought up on, and then eventually at some point they took it on, and they can't quite get it as right, so always grandma's cooking is a little bit better, right? And so it's very interesting. And then the whole container things. I mean, that's regardless of where it's from. I mean, you open up a thing of butter and there's beans in there, or you open up, for us, it was like every container had salsa. Yeah.
With us, with
even,
our food.
I don't know if you guys remember, but even our grandma, she passed away. And it just seems like it was just yesterday, right? But she would always have tons of food. And if you did not eat, she would get mad. She would make you.
Yeah, she'll get offended. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to take a plate.
Yeah, grandma's house. Obviously, you know, she didn't live very long in the San Diego area. She passed by, but most of her last year's was in the Bay Area, right? But that was like central for our whole family. Like, hey, todos vamos a llegar ahí con abuelita, and everybody would eat every weekend. It was like Sunday dinner at grandma's. Even if you just ate, pues ni modo, tienes que echarte
again.
And then it was also after you ate, you play loteria.
Yeah,
you play loteria. Right. That's interesting. So those memories that we have, I mean, the one thing I have is that my grandma, no matter what, if you showed up to her house and it was during the week, she wouldn't prepare something new. She would prepare leftovers, right? But man, those leftovers hit the spot, right? And you know, I look back at it now, and even with my mom's cooking, she did a lot of the same thing, and I hated leftovers whenever I, you know, was coming up. And now I'm like, yeah, I welcome those leftovers, you know, because for some reason they can make something out of nothing. They can just have beans in there. It can have whatever. And you know, we do that to a certain extent, but, you know, it's never as good as your parents or your grandparents. But I don't know. And those memories, they bring back, or it brings back a lot of memories when you bring that up, because that's something. I don't know if it's Hispanic. It definitely happened in our family, where we were always together on every weekend. And unless there was a party going on, and even if, like, let's say our family had to go out to my dad's side of the family, so my mom is the one related to their parent or to their moms. If my dad's side of the family had something going on, we would go, but then everyone would still hang out. And at my grandma's, and it's like I kind of felt left out at that point. Like, hey man, like, you know, I thought you guys were gonna not get together, but no, they still got together, played loteria. Oh yeah,
and it was like loteria for the usually the females or the younger kids played loteria, and the adult men played poker. And my grandpa, to this day, he's what, 90 years old. 90 years old, and that guy can outplay us all in poker still.
Oh yeah.
And Abuelito sometimes cheats.
I have a story.
Really?
So
I never caught him.
So we were probably around 13, maybe 14 years old. And so we were playing, at that time we couldn't play blackjack because I think it was, there was too many of us kids, but we were all kind of hanging out, right? And so we played, he called it siete y media, right? Where I think it's 1 through ace through 7, and then the cards, the face value cards are halves, and you were trying to hit blackjack, which was 7.5. So this guy was dealer, right? And he was playing again, and we were playing with real money, right? We were not playing with fake money or anything. You know, we're 13 all the way down to probably like 8 years old, and he's handing everyone off their cards or whatever. And so he goes and he, you know, in blackjack, you get 2 cards and then you add them together. And if you go over, then you go over. And if you don't go over, then and you have to beat the dealer basically. And I remember he handed everyone their cards, and then he was asking, "Hey, do you want to hit? Do you want to hit? Do you want to hit?" And then when he got to the end, he looks around, and then he looks at the card and he goes, "I'll stay." And I'm like, bro, like thinking that we wouldn't see it, right? I'm like, bro, I saw it. But you can't call your grandpa out on this, right? So I just stayed quiet. So I just stayed quiet, and I let him do it. And, you know, sure enough, he beats more than half of the table, collects his cash, and then moves on.
He just cheated right in front of his.
Yes, or like recent.
You know.
Yes, or even like we play con quién, and my grandpa would change the rules on me. And I'm like, that's not a rule. It is because we're playing right now.
I just changed it.
He just makes up his own rules. No, but it's very interesting that grandma's house was the central focus, like every weekend, every domingo, no, basically, or sábado or whatever.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yes, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, actually, yeah. So it was very it was comforting, you know. Now that we reminisce and we have those memories, it was very comforting to know that no importa quién pasaba por allí, if they were hungry, they will not leave without eating. Yeah, plain and simple, you know. And there was enough to go around everybody. It's funny. Sorry, I didn't get to share about the feeling of the community here. So obviously, I don't live in a place where, you know, Mexicans or Hispanics in general, there's not very much over here, as much as in California. But for the feedback that I got, and this is all related, is that one of the ladies from the football, from Caden's football team was like, "Man, I saw your podcast, and it reminded me so much of my family that I missed them so much because obviously we're so far from, you know." And it reminded her about her family, and it reconnected her with her Mexican roots, because over here, you know, you speak predominantly English everywhere you go, you know, and so to get that feedback was really great. Now with this whole grandma thing, it's probably going to be a little bit more nostalgic and stuff. So it's really good. Yeah. So.
Hey, so now talking about grandmas. Oh, go ahead, Cessa.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say, talking about grandmas, have you guys noticed that grandmas don't look the same like as they did before? Or is it just me? I remember back in the day, grandmas would have like the white hair, the apron, right? Cocinando and all this stuff. And I feel like grandmas nowadays don't look the same. My sister's a grandma, right? And she's in her like late 40s, and she looks like she's way younger. You know, my mom is a bisabuela, and my mom is in her 70s. My mom's going to be 72, right, in March. And she don't look like a grandma, like grandmas did back in the day. Or is it just me? Like, you know what I mean? Like my mom's like wearing tight jeans and like tight shirts and you know, this is like grandmas don't wear that.
She's also single, so
shout out to my mom who's single.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. See, por si acaso,
with the tight jeans.
Yeah. No, but times have changed. Remember, our grandmas came from an environment where they had no choice but to work. Y partirse el lomo para, you know, to sacar adelante their kids so that our parents can, you know, so that where we're at now, you know.
Right.
So it's a little bit, and then I don't know, it would be interesting to find out, I guess, if we do the calculations, when grandma became a grandma? You know, nowadays are people becoming more grandparents earlier on, or?
I feel like they are.
Yeah, that probably has a lot to do with it, right? If they're becoming grandmas younger and then they're not trying to accept the fact that they're becoming a grandma. Because when you say, hey, grandma or grandpa, I feel like, well, guys are first. I'd welcome being a grandpa when the time is right? Because I feel like, that get off my lawn mentality. I'm good for that. I could do that, right? Sit down on the couch and be grandparent like. But no, with especially with a lot of females are like, no, they have this vision of a grandma being like Salty said, a person with white hair, an apron, and they're cooking all the time or cleaning or feeding the community, even though they only have 2 people in the household. So you have that vision, and you're like, no, I'm not that, and you hold on to that as much as possible.
Right. I feel like our moms carried out a lot of grandma's I guess habits. Like all of them pretty much know how to cook. They'll give whatever they can to feed other people. So I think that kind of the new gen and the old generation. What do you guys think about the contrast of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as what you're saying about feeding people and going from my grandma's generation to, I guess, my parents' generation, there's a lot of that was still carried over. A lot of those traditions, even the day that, we had the funeral for my grandma, the number one priority of everyone was like, we need to get everyone fed.
Feed everybody.
We need to feed everyone. There can't be no one. And even now, when we used to go to my tia Carla's house for Christmas or whatever the case may be, or just get together, my mom's house, any one of my aunt's house, you walk through that door, the first thing they're saying, hey, you hungry? Do you want something to eat? It's that kind of mentality. I don't know. I don't know that it's from that generation to like the grandkids generation to like our generation. I don't know how much of that has translated. I mean, to a certain extent, but I don't know. I don't remember the last time where someone walked through my door and I'm like, hey, you want something to eat?
Right.
Like, usually we invite people to come to eat. People don't just show up and then we're like, oh crap, we had to feed you,
Yeah.
We're a little bit more prepared, I guess.
Right. Well, but I mean, nowadays, do people actually do that? Do people show up unannounced?
And they normally say, "Are you home?"
Is it cool? Yeah. Is that cool?
I think it shifted a lot especially with technology, because before you can call someone, but half the time you're in the neighborhood, you just stop by or you just show up. But now it's almost rude not to text someone if you're going over their house,
Yeah. What if I'm like, yeah.
It also depends where you live, right? Because I live in LA, so obviously I'm gonna find out, right? Hey, are you gonna be home that weekend?
Right.
So, but if I were at my mom's, I still call her because she's callejera.
You mean I can't just show up at your house and be like, hey, I was in the neighborhood like 3 hours away?
Right.
No, because she might be in paños menores. And then
that's why I was gonna say, ya no se puede andar así because
Ricky's there.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you do bring up a good point, Danny, that nowadays you have all the technology around you. Before, back in the day, there was just payphones, and now maybe pagers, that's about it. Así que nomás llegaban así a la brava y ni modo. Like, hey, if you were in the middle of something, you just kind of either had to drop it or they'll jump in with you to go do whatever they're doing.
Like with my grandma, when we got together at her house, it was like a standing open invitation to be there like Sunday around 4:00, 5:00, and just be there. And it was, we already knew what was going to happen. It was going to, we're all going to get together, eat. We're going to play Loteria, watch Sábado Gigante. I mean, that's pretty much what was going to happen, right? There's not a lot of those standing invitations anymore. I mean, that are usually we're getting together for events. And I feel like there's a lot more, at least on our end, from a family standpoint, there's a lot more of a lot of individual families spending time with their their immediate family. So like us and our kids, we'll go out to wherever we need to go out. And then I'll, we'll get together with our immediate family, which is like my sisters and stuff like that. And then for like the bigger occasions, like a birthday party, pre-COVID or post-COVID, whatever the case may be, or sometimes maybe some sort of celebration of some sort of graduation. That's when all our cousins will then get together with our aunts and uncles, and it'd be more of a bigger thing. It's just so many damn people, man. It's become it's become almost. You can't have a small thing. You can't have a small thing anymore.
No, it doesn't exist. Hey, going back to grandma's cooking, what was your guys' favorite thing from grandma's cooking?
Picadillo.
Picadillo. So can you explain what that is? Because I don't think somebody's ever had picadillo.
Yes, my mom makes it.
Okay.
I know, but I didn't know what it was until
the viewers. Explain what picadillo is.
What's picadillo?
Yeah.
I thought something was going to explain. That's why I was like,
I don't even know what it's made of. I just know it tastes good.
She just eats it.
Yeah, I just eat it.
It's just basically ground beef, or if you want to do healthy, my picadillo is ground turkey. with veggies. So there's calabaza, zanahoria, papa. It also has arroz. I can already taste it. And this caldo, even if I tried, I can't do it. Not the same.
Con arroz, no? Y frijoles.
Yeah.
I don't know who came up with that, but
your mom makes it for the turkey.
Yeah, and during Thanksgiving, that's something we will have as a stuffing. She'll have
really use a stuffing.
Yeah, it's very good. That's probably the only time we kind of eat it now.
But Chica's specialty is rice.
Yeah, my mom's a rice lady. She's really good at making rice.
Lady.
She's really good at making rice.
What about you, Danny?
I think it has to be enchiladas for me.
Enchiladas what?
No, enchiladas potosinas.
Oh yeah. Man,
and what are those?
So enchiladas potosinas, I guess it's you make the masa for the tortillas and you add some spices to it, so it gives it like this red tint. It doesn't make it spicy; it just gives it more of a flavor. And then what they do is they make this like almost like a mashed potato. But they mix it with chorizo, right? And it gives it also this nice red tint and or orange tint, I guess you would say. And then you heat up the tortilla, you put some of that mashed potato right on top, and then you sprinkle it with we put some cabbage on it, and then we put some cheese, some Mexican cheese, cotija cheese. And then they use this like tomato sauce that they put over the top, and it is really, really good. My mom still makes them, and I'm glad she does. And I need to figure out how to make those tortillas, because she does really, really good at doing them. But yeah, I've had them before, or I've done them before myself, but I don't do the most important part, which is the tortilla, right? That's what makes it an enchilada. But I've had I've done it myself, where I just do the la papa and the chorizo and stuff like that.
I'm just trying to go through my mind of how people who don't know what we're talking about, they could be saying, so wait a minute, so you get mashed potatoes and you put it on a tortilla.
I'll post a picture of it. So yes.
If they're listening to Spotify, it's different.
Yeah, and then you sprinkle some tint to color the tortilla, but people could be thinking that, but it's not like that. But yeah, once we put a picture,
it's really good.
It's really good, and it's served with chicken sometimes and whatnot. So
yes. When my mom was here visiting, she made them, and some of my friends were like, "Oh, are these sopes?" So some people think they're sopes, but they're not.
Or taquitos.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I remember inviting a lot of our friends over whenever we had like a party or something like that, and none of them ever knew what it was. They were just like, I would tell them like, oh yeah, we're gonna have enchiladas, and they're like, oh cool, and then they're thinking like enchiladas michoacanas, or they're thinking enchiladas, the standard enchilada, the rolls with what is it, beef inside or chicken or whatever, and those are good too. Don't get me wrong, but man, the enchiladas potosinas, they're just, in my opinion, they're just on a whole nother level. And I think
you guys want to know a secret?
Yeah.
For years, probably
you didn't like it.
Mid-20s. I didn't know there were the other kind of enchiladas.
Oh no.
I knew you had never seen it before.
I had seen them. I mean, like when we go to restaurants or whatever, they say enchiladas, right? I didn't know that the rolled ones were called enchiladas.
Oh no.
In my mind, like enchiladas are the potosinas.
Yeah.
But wait, so what did you thought they were? Lasagna? What?
Get them and be like, these are like tacos, like enrollados, flautas.
Wet flautas.
So I never get enchiladas at restaurants.
Oh man, that's so funny. No, but enchiladas potosinas, obviously the name says it all. But yeah, from that state of Mexico, that's what they're known for. Besides other stuff, But enchiladas potosinas, everybody knows. I don't know if you guys saw that show Taco Crónicas on Netflix. I wish they would have done a segment on that, because it looks like a taco, but it's not. It's actually un enchilada, And then throughout time, people have made their own. They fried them. They made their own. But like the OG enchilada potosina, man, it's about this small, and it's just packed with just flavor.
And you could probably eat a good 10 or more in one sitting if you really wanted to. Yeah. I mean, the plate alone, when my parents serve you the plate, there's at least six of them.
Yeah, plus chicken.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, plus the chicken. Yeah. And you know what's funny is that like now, there's still some of the gender roles out there, because whenever we have the enchiladas, usually I'm hanging out with my dad and some of the guys, and usually Soti's over there preparing enchiladas. And so you would think that it would be the Mexican guy doing it, right? But no, it's a Puerto Rican lady over there. Setting up.
No, we have our stations already. Like your sister fries them, they give them to me. I pat the oil off, and then we give it to Kika, and then Kika serves them, and then we start like, hey, so and so, come sit down to eat. We have our stations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it took me 10 years, but I got there.
Yeah. But those you gotta eat them on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah, they get soggy.
You know what? Those were my first two. But I'll tell you, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'll tell you what I didn't like, and that's mole. I hate mole.
What?
Really?
I don't like mole at all. I think mole. And I get a lot of that. And you watch on the comments. You watch, all the prices are gonna come after me. But I don't like mole at all, unless it's green mole or the sweet mole. I'm good with that. But regular mole,
I've never seen green mole.
So you're good with like mole with the chocolate?
Yeah, but more on the sweet side than on the bitter side.
Really?
Mole poblano.
Really?
I think it's from mole poblano or
from Oaxaca. No, don't they do it with chocolate in Oaxaca?
No, they do a whole different type of mole.
Oh, really?
Mole pozole.
Yeah, mole pozole. Yeah, that's I don't know. They use the hominy from the pozole, and they kind of mash it up, and then they put mole on that.
Good.
What? I've never.
Oh my God.
My suegra makes it, and she loves that stuff, and I'm just like, no. Wow. He rubs it in like, here, just eat it, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna eat it. Yeah.
So I like mole, but the mole that we make, obviously, which is no chocolate or anything like that. The mole with the chocolate, I'll eat it, but it's very rare. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, it's too. It's almost too sweet, So I like savory food more than anything. So it's probably why.
Wait, do you guys know how to make mole?
No.
No,
don't care for it.
Don't want to know.
Well, you know what? Hey, yeah, exactly. No, but I've had some mole enchiladas. That's a game changer right there.
Okay.
I don't know what. Yeah,
Not
enchiladas,
regular
that was-
enchiladas, the non-Maya enchiladas, not.
Yeah, they're not my enchiladas. Yeah. But no, so yeah, those are. Yeah, I did. I mean, the picadillo, the enchiladas, that was all top 1 and 2 of the comidas. She used to make like a bistec con papas and
Yeah.
like salsa
Oh
de
yes.
tomate.
Uh-huh.
that
Bistec la
one was
Mexicana
good.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
The,
picada mexicana, that was good. So
the one that was a hidden one for me that I didn't realize that I liked a lot until I got older was revoltillo.
oh,
What's
revoltillo, my
revoltillo?
goodness.
Like huevo?
Yeah, it's a huevo, and then they put
I love
some hot sauce in there, right? And then they mix the huevo all green, and
Oh,
and
like tu tia Amelia does that.
yeah, and they stuff
Yeah,
them
yeah,
in
yeah.
usually in gorditas, right? They stuff them.
Yeah, tu tia Amelia
Oh my
does that.
god! And they're hot as hell. I'm over there like sweating. I'm like 15
Oh.
years old, like sweating, and just like not even able to talk, but I'm still biting because they're so good. And I didn't realize how much I miss them until like I don't have them for a while.
Until
or I
right
did,
now.
yeah, and then right now I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, but okay, so revoltillo. This is basically Danny kind of said it, but to break it down a little bit more, how the platillo would be, So it's eggs, jalapeno, I believe it's onions. They put they blend all that stuff before, but not with the egg. The egg is cooking over here, right? And then they pour it in there, and that's how it turns all green.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, that's going. You got refried beans with some kind of tortilla going on the side, and queso fresco.
Queso fresco, yeah.
That's like breakfast of champions right there.
yeah,
I mean,
that's good
Saludos.
stuff. So what are some things that were quick and dirty that isn't very elaborate or fancy that you guys just thought it was really, really good? That's like, it has to be one of those things that you would always ask your mom while you were growing up.
I was telling Danny the other day that in Puerto Rico, our like poor people food, I guess, is pan sobao. How do you explain pan sobao?
It's just
It's like a really
it's like a soft
soft
bread.
Bread.
Van y lo sobas y luego te-
Right. Pan
massage-
sobao con el
massage
huevo.
bread.
Con el huevo.
So they has the bread y landa.
pan sobado is like pan sobado. Man.
Yeah, she's therapeutic massage.
Yes.
I know, like
It's really good. You know what? If you guys ever go to Puerto Rico, you guys
It's
need to
really
try el
good.
pan sobao, right? Because you go to la
what's in it?
panaderia.
It's like a torta?
So it's
It's just bread, but it's very, very soft.
yeah, and then you go to the panaderia and they just like give it to you warm right there and then, and you put a little bit of mantequilla on it, and then you take aguacate, which in Puerto Rico the aguacates are like huge, and you
Yeah,
take a
kinda
piece
like
of
here, yeah.
aguacate, put it in there, and that's our poor people food. But it's so good, mantequilla y aguacate en el pan sobao.
So the reason I bring that up is my go-to for breakfast if I'm in a hurry or I want to make something quick for Arya, and it's something that I've always liked, has always been eggs with hot dogs.
Yeah.
With cut up hot dogs. You put the cut up hot dogs in there, and then you cook them up real quick, throw some eggs on there, and I'll make her a tortilla here and there, and she goes to town, and I go to town.
Yeah.
Mine are quesadillas.
Man.
Quesadillas.
Mhm.
Plain
Quesadillas are
quesadillas.
good.
Mm-hmm.
With what? Tortilla de harina or tortilla de maíz?
Whatever I have in the fridge.
Lo que caiga.
We kind of made fusion of our food because where we live it's predominant a lot of Asian food mixed with Hawaiian food and whatnot. So like quick and easy, if we have white rice, chop up bacon and eggs and whatever veggies you have and throw it in there, just make fried rice. That's basically it.
Hey, okay, so now that we're talking about this, what is that dish that when we went to Hawaii, you were like, you need to try?
Moco
It has-
loco.
Moco
Moco
loco.
loco.
Can you explain what
Moco
moco loco
loco.
is, please? What is it? Moco loco, poco loco?
Moco loco.
Moco loco.
Juve is still
Loco,
looking for a
loco.
place to eat that here.
It's bomb.
So yes, can you explain, Cesar, what moco loco is for those? And again, we'll
Yes,
post a picture.
Yes. So loco moco is actually very traditional here. It's a better white rice, just plain steamed white rice, a hamburger patty poured with brown gravy, you can use whatever gravy, just brown country gravy. You can the gravy that you use like for fried
Mashed
chicken,
potatoes.
brown gravy, an egg right on top of it, and that's it.
Yeah.
It has to be
So
a
good.
over easy egg, right? With a
Yes.
yolk running.
Yeah, over easy egg. Some people don't like it. Like Claudia, she likes it scrambled, so she would
Okay.
get a scrambled egg. But yes, the to get the
So
true
good.
flavor is that yolk has to be a little runny. I put ketchup and hot sauce.
Yes.
Man, I'm hungry now.
Hey yo, what's good, pa mi gente? Just wanted to share a little something that I got. This is the Loco Moco with the side of Mac Salad. So, let me show you what it's all about. Check this out. The yolk. Oh, wait. Oh, here it is. There it is. That's how it has to be savored properly. So, anyways, just wanted to share what the Loco Moco is. I'm about to throw down.
Yeah. Maybe when we go over there, I'm gonna make some loco mocos.
Loco Moco. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah. So I don't know if this is a good time to transition to I guess upon request is Latino nicknames.
Yes, we can
And-
end with that. Oh my God, yes.
Latino nicknames basically for us they're called apodos. Apodos basically is a nickname. Now, how there's all kinds of nicknames and apodos, and there's always a backstory to an
Why?
apodo.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I guess we can start with what are the apodos that you guys have heard that catches you guys' mind? Like, what the
Well,
heck?
first, I guess we can start off with apodos that we all have, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So we can kind of go over that. And then I do think that there's two different types of apodos. I think there's traditional ones that come with the name that a person is given. And then I think there's some based off either the personality or the person's physical features. And it's
Or-
almost like a joke.
Yeah.
Or a story
Or a
behind
story,
it.
yeah. So I
It's
can
about their
start.
insecurities.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God, yes.
So, yeah, Hispanic culture can be very much bullies, right?
Yes.
So I'll start up. I'll start off with mine, right? When I was young, I was very annoying, and I was a crybaby, and so my aunt, she took care of two kids or a bunch of kids, and one of the kids was also named Daniel. He happened to be the same age as I was, so they called me Danny and they called him Danny. And before that, when I was young, I was always in a crib and I was always calling out my grandpa, and I was always like abuelo, like, you know, over and over and over, annoying the crap out of my grandpa. And so when they started taking care of me and this other guy, they didn't realize, you know, they didn't know how to call us, you know, because they would say Danny, we'd both come. So this kid always had a buzz cut, and he had short hair and I had longer hair. So they called him Danny Pelon and they called me Danny Abuelo. And it freaking stuck. It stuck, and it stuck to the point where it's been that way for forever. Well,
It's still Dani Abuelo.
well, funny enough, this kid grew up and now he's a musician for a band called The Animal in Me. Shout out to them. And he's got longer hair. He's a rocker, and I'm going bald. And so now everyone is saying like, "Oh my God, now you're Dani Abuelo. Like, you guys have switched and all this." And it's like, as if I wasn't insecure enough about my head, right? I'm wearing a hat now. And now everyone's like, "Hey, you know, you're going bald. Let's point that out even more by calling you Dani Pelon." Okay, well, sure. So that's my story. That's my nickname. That's my apodo. And yeah, my family's bullies. So
I didn't have an actual, they would call me Sotita. But
that's not your name. Miosotti is your
well,
name.
Mio Soti is my name, but Soti, they call me Sotita. But no, the ones that bother me are the ones like you said, Maya, that make you super self-conscious. So like when they call somebody gorda or hey gordita, or and it's like you grow up and you keep on thinking like that this sticks with you. You know what I mean? Or like give me another example of a bad one.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, like my dad, he calls
Flaca.
he calls my daughter Flaca, and then he also calls my nephew Gordo. So
Yeah, but it's like you grow up thinking.
I mean, es de cariño, right?
Yeah.
Pero it's one of those things that if it sticks, you have a nickname that's gonna stick for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I don't. My name's Mariana, and I get called Maya. I don't know where that came from. So it's been Maya.
Well, I've heard people call you.
They call me Mar too. I get called Mar. Milia calls me Mar. I get called Julie from Toyi. What, Danny?
Julie. I was like, why Julie though?
I don't know. Just Toyi started calling me
just
Julie. But my mom calls Amelie Pelucas.
Pelucas.
Because she has a lot of hair. It looks like a wig. She's like, ¿Cómo está la pelucas?
You think it'll stick though?
Well, it has since the beginning, but I don't know. We'll see. But I feel guilty because so I'm sorry, Ricky, I'm gonna put your story up on blast. So when my brother and I were little, my grandma actually would make my Halloween costumes, and my mom would make Ricky's. And so one time she couldn't find a Halloween costume, so she dressed him up as a cowboy. And as for trick-or-treating, he shits himself, right? So se cagó.
Oh my God.
Se cagó.
Yeah, this was like 2 years ago, by the way. No.
He was little. He was like 3 or whatever. Se cagó. So he's been el charro cagado. Yes, and so
spot on.
Yeah. So we grew up, and I would just call him Caca, and he would answer. My mom would be like, "Ay, no le digas así." And I'm like, "¿Para qué me contesta?" I'd be like, "Caca," and he'd be like, "What?"
Bien obediente, ¿no?
Yeah. So then it went from Charro Cagado to Caca. And now he is Caca Jones because one time we were at Costco and he was wearing a hat and he looked like Indiana Jones and I couldn't let go of Caca, so he became Caca Jones.
Caca Jones. Damn. So it like yeah, kind of like
you can't shit one time without getting a nickname for life.
Man, went from Charro Cagado to Caca Jones like in years, you know. Like,
oh my God.
What about you, Steve?
Well, for me, like it from the insecurities, you know, I was born very hairy, so they used to call me oso polar. And then it went from oso polar to osito. Okay, I mean, just like we would work right across the street over here on a big construction site, and over the radio they would be like, "Oh yeah, oso polar, come in." I'm like, what the hell? Told them oso, and I wouldn't answer, and then it would be okay, fine, osito, come in. All right, osito's good. What's up? But yeah, like especially Mexicans. Mexicans will grab anything to just like call you because we're really bad at names or we just don't like calling you by your name, and so we'll just name you and it could be stuck. But there's some of them that I want to share with you that are very doble sentido, you know, like el balito por ser chiquito y papacito, right? And then you got la Uber porque todo se le sube.
Oh my God.
So this is the kind of stuff that we got to deal with as Mexicans, you know, as de repente, hey, tú, what kind of, like, if you roll up with the green car, ¿qué le van a poner? Aguacate? What you think aguacate?
That was my car.
Yeah.
The worst part is if you take offense to it or if it bothers you in any way, they will lean in.
Make it
hard.
worse.
Yeah.
It'll make it official. Yeah.
Yeah, they lean in hard.
Yeah.
I know with one of our cousins, Alex, he has frog eyes. And so we all call him Rana, or I have him on my phone as Alex Toad, and I've never taken that thing off. Yeah, I've never taken it. I was just stuck like that. So
That's so sad.
What other ones?
So the nicknames that I mean they're more traditional, right? You know, there's a nicknames that you make fun of people and that's all. I mean, it's very sad that we have a culture like that, but also it kind of makes us very strong too. I mean, you learn to take from people's crap. I mean, you go to school and you know, I'm over here already. People are calling me. All my cousins are saying that I'm so dark that I'm black, right? So I go to school, and you know, they can say whatever they want. That's not gonna hurt my feelings because you know my cousins are gonna, you know, they're gonna tell me worse things over there at my house. So
or like when we put the black emoji for you.
Yeah, I always use it darker, and now I lean into it more now than I did before. Before it would bother me, right? And then now I'm just like, all right, you know, I'll make a joke at my own expense or whatever because it's like, whatever, you know.
But you know, you're right. Like this, like it does make you stronger though because you have a choice. You have a choice to make. Either you go with the flow, or haces corajes and you get mad. And they're gonna even rub it even more because they know that they can get to you, and then they'll do it cariñitos, you know, like Alex.
Yeah.
¿Cómo le hacía con was it grandma or cuando le dije que estaba echadota?
Yeah, so we so that story, it was me and Alex and one of my cousins and my grandma. You know, she was really tired one day, and you never saw her like laying down like in the couch. Usually she just did it in her bed. And one day we were playing around and we passed by and she was laying down on the couch, and you know, Alex turns to her and says, "Abuelita," la se hasta que la veo echadota. And then I freaking elbow him like, dude, you can't say that. He's like, oh, disculpa, echadita. And I was like, what the fuck? It doesn't make a difference. Like, just say cariño. It doesn't make a difference.
Exactly. So yeah, no, these nicknames, these type of nicknames. But then, okay,
and then
los animales.
Yes.
They don't. Yeah, they don't get it. I mean, like, who the hell named Firulais a dog? Every dog, hey, I got Firulais. Watch out for the Firulais. What the heck? So
sometimes it also happens that you don't know that you have a nickname. So people refer to you as something, right? So I am guilty of, and I say it now, you know, it's funny. And Juve and I, when we refer to this person, we just say, oh, cara de perro.
Wow.
You better not be talking about me.
I was just gonna say. Hold on.
He'd be like, hey,
I know, you are wearing a bulldog.
It's just that's another thing. Sometimes you don't know there's a nickname for you. And everyone else does around you except for you.
Yeah.
Except for you.
Yeah, that's very true. That could definitely be the case. Yeah, I think those nicknames, like I said, they make you stronger. There's the ones that just stick to you because people can't say your name, right? There's, you know, my cousin Victor, no one could say his name when they were growing up, when we were little kids, and then say he ended up being Tito. You know, there's just names like that just stick with you because they simply can't just say your name. So, what about what your mom calls you? What is your mom like? For me, she called me Chango. Don't know why. That's what she called me.
Wonder why.
Yeah, I'm not as hairy as Caesar, but you know.
I don't think you want to know what she called me before. Started with the P, ended with an O. Yeah, no. I don't think she had names for us. You know, Joel, because he had big ears, they were called Topollillo.
Oh my god, I haven't heard Topollillo in a long time.
Crystal, because she was black, La Morena.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because they would call
Gordo.
They would call Danny Llorón. His mom was like, "Ay, lloraba so much," and it's funny because I was the same way. They would call me Llorona, and then they would call me Llorona when I was crying, and that would get me more mad. And I'm like, Llorona. And it's funny how I married a Llorón.
And now our kids are also criers.
Yeah.
Los Llorones. We'll put you guys like Llorones.
Right?
So then there's also the nicknames, like I said, a little bit more traditional, right? Like Jose, they call him Pepes. And it's a nickname. I don't know why, right? Francisco, Paco. Or
Pancho.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jesus, Chuy.
Yeah.
Well, in English, it's kind of the same, I guess, right? Or maybe it's different. Like Robert, why do they call him Dick?
Yeah. Well, I don't think that's Robert, but yeah, you're right.
Right? They call what they call Robert Dick, yeah.
Or William Guillermo. Isn't it?
Oh my god, that's totally wrong, Maya. What the
William Guillermo. Something's dying. I just when he said William Levy.
Oh, they call the Williams Guillermos?
No, I just
call
call
him Bills. Williams are called Bill.
Are you
serious?
Bill?
Yeah.
William
so Williams are called Bills or Wills. And then even Dix, that's short for Richard. It's not short for Robert.
Richard, whatever. It was with an R, G.
Yeah. You had me guessing. I had to look it up. I was like, wait, what?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like,
first of all, why would William be short for Guillermo? Like, it's basically the same freaking letter. Amount of letters.
And it has 2 L's. That's like
I know.
The William and Guillermo have 2 L's. Oh my god, I'm gonna use that for
next William we meet. Next William we meet, we're gonna be you're Guillermo.
You're Guillermo now.
And then Jonathan, Guillermo, our cousin, Memo. I call him Jonathan.
Because it's short for Guillermo. I mean,
wow.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I had a moment.
Yeah, but you have all those for me, it's like, man, they're nicknames that you don't know what the hell, like why, like how did they come about, like Jesus and Chuy, I've never looked it up.
And okay, William es un nombre propio de los antiguos. Su traducción en español es Guillermo. Wikipedia.
Oh my gosh, she fact-checked her own.
Pero that's a translation. That's not a nickname.
That's not an apodo, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same name.
Maya's like, I read it on the internet. It must be true.
I read it on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I just made that adjustment myself on Wikipedia, and then now you looked it up.
No, but what was the last question you asked, Danny? About what?
I just like the Pepe and Jose or the Chuy and Jesus, those are one of the things that I've never looked it up to find out why those came about, but I'm sure they have a backstory, right?
Okay, well, first of all, let's get this straight. Mexicans are the only ones that feel the entitlement to name their kid after Jesus. So, I mean, one time we had a guy named Jesus, and he's reading off their names at the job site. Yeah, we got Cesar, Joel, Miguel, Pablo. Who's Jesus? Who's Jesus? Is Jesus here? But it's Jesus, it's Jesus. But it's like, but when you say it in English, it's like, I don't think you're supposed to say Jesus. Yeah, you're supposed to say Jesus. So, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, well, how about our social media followers let us know what other nicknames they were called whenever they were younger and if that affected their life? Like if they called you gorda or flaca or
Oreo.
whatever, or William
Or whatever.
or Guillermo.
Or Guillermo.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Leave it in the comments and leave a backstory on like how you got your apodo so that we can kind of understand where you're coming from. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, follow us on all the socials too. Like I said before, like our pages, subscribe, Pa Mi Gente everywhere. You can find us. And then we have links down below to our link tree as well. So
that's right. All right. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode and stay tuned for some for next episodes.
all right.
All right. Later.